Hey there, Cowboys Nation! Welcome to Dallas Cowboys Fan, your ultimate destination for all things America's team. Whether you bleed blue and silver or are just starting to catch Cowboys fever, this is the place. If you are a die-hard fan, please make sure to subscribe for more latest news and updates of your favorite team. Alright, let's get into today's latest headlines and some interesting debates around the Lakers and the Cowboys. We're diving deep into what's happening with the Lakers and what's going on with the Dallas Cowboys. And this has got to be one of the hottest questions right now. Was Dak Prescott's contract actually a mistake? And if the Cowboys do end up considering other options at quarterback, who could actually fill in that role? Stick around, let's break it all down and see if there are any realistic options here, or if this is just a tough season for the Cowboys to power through. Alright, let's get to it. So, first up with the Lakers, it's no surprise that this season's roster is loaded with expectations. The Lakers, after a couple of big acquisitions and some young talent starting to grow, are trying to re-establish themselves as the team to beat in the West. After what could only be described as a roller coaster season last year, with injuries and some major ups and downs, the Lakers are in a position where it's championship or bust. They're banking on LeBron, who is still going strong, to lead them alongside AD, and they've added some much-needed depth to help them deal with the physical toll of the season. One of the major talking points, though, is whether the Lakers have enough to really compete with the absolute juggernaut teams in the league. They've made some smart moves, sure, but teams like the Denver Nuggets, Phoenix Suns, and Golden State Warriors haven't gone anywhere. With a lot of the league's superstars still stacking up in the West, every game counts, and the Lakers know they can't afford to have the same kind of season start they did last year. On the flip side, if they can stay healthy, you're looking at a Lakers team that has a chance to be incredibly dangerous. LeBron James has already shown that he's still capable of performing at a high level. And let's not forget about Anthony Davis, who, when he's on his game and staying on the court, is a defensive force and one of the most versatile big men in the game. The Lakers coaching staff has been pretty vocal about wanting AD to take on more responsibility and assert himself as a leader, which will be crucial for the Lakers' success as LeBron continues to age. But let's shift over to Dallas, because that's where things are really getting heated. The Cowboys are one of the most talked about teams in the NFL, and one of the big reasons why is their quarterback, Dak Prescott. Prescott's contract was a major move when it was signed, with a lot of fans and analysts seeing it as a commitment to make him the franchise guy for the foreseeable future. But with the ups and downs he's had, there's been a lot of debate lately about whether the Cowboys made the right call by investing so heavily in him. So, was that contract a mistake? It's tough to say definitively, but here's the case people are making. Prescott has had some great moments, no doubt, but when you're signing a quarterback to a contract that big, you're hoping he's going to be the guy who can win you a Super Bowl. The reality is, for better or worse, that is the measuring stick. And so far, Prescott hasn't been able to deliver in those key playoff moments, and his performances have been inconsistent at times. Now, he's still a strong, capable quarterback with great stats, but when the Cowboys face elite defenses, or when they're in a close, must-win game, Prescott hasn't always come through the way Cowboys fans want to see. Now, you have to factor in that the Cowboys have also had a number of challenges beyond Dak. Injuries to their offensive line, issues with the receiving core, and defensive struggles have all played a role. Football is a team game, and no quarterback can win games on their own. That said, Prescott's contract eats up a significant portion of the Cowboys' salary cap, and that limits their ability to bring in other top-tier talent. So it's fair to question if that massive contract is really worth it when there are areas on the team that could use upgrading. It's definitely a conversation that Cowboys fans, and really all football fans, are having right now. So, if the Cowboys were to consider moving on from Dak, What would that even look like? Who could realistically come in and fill that role? Well, that's where it gets tricky. There are not a lot of high-quality quarterbacks just hanging around, waiting for a call. Quarterbacks are the rarest commodity in the NFL, and to find someone better than Prescott would likely require a trade or even a high draft pick, which comes with a whole new set of challenges and questions. One name that's been floated around in recent discussions is Trey Lance. Now, Lance was recently traded to the Cowboys, but so far, he's only been on the sidelines, learning the system. Lance is definitely an intriguing prospect, but he's still raw and hasn't had a lot of NFL playing experience. The Cowboys could try to groom him to take over if they feel like Prescott isn't the long-term answer. But let's be real, that's a big risk. Lance has potential, but there's no guarantee he'll pan out, especially given that he's not had much time on the field. Another option could be looking toward the NFL draft. But again, drafting a quarterback is always a gamble, even in the first round. And if the Cowboys were to draft a rookie, they'd have to deal with the learning curve and the time it would take to develop that player. Dallas is a team that's built to win now, and they might not have the luxury of waiting for a young quarterback to develop over a couple of years. Then there are free agents or veteran quarterbacks, but most available options come with some kind of baggage or limitations. You've got guys like Kirk Cousins, who's a free agent after this season, but is he really the answer? Cousins has been a solid quarterback in the league, but like Doc, he's had his share of struggles in big games. It's unlikely that switching out Doc for Cousins would make a huge difference in the Cowboys' championship chances. So, here's where we're at. The Cowboys have some difficult choices to make. On one hand, they could stick with Prescott and continue to build around him, but that means being okay with the fact that he may not be that elite Super Bowl winning quarterback that everyone's hoping for. On the other hand, if they do decide to move on, they've got to have a realistic plan for who's coming in next, and that plan needs to be better than just hoping they find the next Tom Brady in the draft. There's also the matter of the Cowboys' window for winning. This team has a number of solid players in their prime right now. The offensive line, while a bit beat up, still has strong players like Zach Martin, and their defense has been bolstered by guys like Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs. The Cowboys are not in rebuild mode. They're a team that should be contending. So any decision they make about the quarterback position has to keep that timeline in mind. They can't afford a long-term project. They need someone who can step in and lead the team deep into the playoffs right away. The money that's tied up in him could have been used to strengthen other parts of the team, and that might have given the Cowboys a more complete, balanced roster. We'll have to wait and see if they make any bold moves, or if they're willing to ride it out with Prescott and see if he can finally bring home that elusive Super Bowl.